Welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Randy Jeffers, and we are live from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, we have a really special show for you. We are here with Wilson Honeyboy Smith. Now, with a name like Honeyboy, you must be a fighter. You must.
Exactly.
It's like that song, Boy Named Sue. You had to be a fighter, right?
Yes, sir.
So you were a professional fighter during what years?
Well, I turned pro in 1992 after getting out of prison. I fought to 97.
From 92 to 97?
Yeah.
Okay.
My last fight was on Fox TV. I was 41. I fought a kid that was 21 named Julio Gonzalez. He, 4 fights later, fought Roy Jones Jr. And then 2 fights later, he won the light heavyweight championship over in Germany.
Wow. Wow, so 41, that's old for a fighter.
Yeah,
right?
I went 3 rounds with him.
Yeah.
And the first 2 rounds, I think I kind of gave him a boxing lesson. It's on YouTube, so people can look at it and see, because the announcer say, Honey Boy don't like he's 41 years old.
Yeah?
Yes.
Wow. Now, you mentioned that you got out of prison, so
Yes, sir.
let's sort of start back at the beginning. You grew up where?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, in Cleveland.
Yes.
Okay, and you lived there until when?
Until I went to prison.
And you went to prison. Tell us about that. That had to be
Well,
quite an
I
experience.
went to juvenile institution first, twice, then prison twice.
Wow.
So I first started off, I think, in 74, done 6 months. Strong arm robbery, I think the case was. And from watching Muhammad Ali, I always wanted to box. But the area I stayed in on St. Clair, 124th and St. Clair in Cleveland, Ohio, and none of the guys that I hung around wanted to box. So I didn't want to go across town by myself, because the guys, if you wasn't from that particular part of town, they would jump on you. And I didn't really know how to defend myself, and I didn't want to get no gun, no knife, and hurt nobody at that time. Later down the line, I learned, I did start picking up a gun, to hurt people.
My goodness. So you were you involved in gangs at all? Or
No,
was that kind of
gangs wasn't real prevalent at that time when I was coming up in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I would have gotten involved in one, because I didn't have a whole lot of respect for gangs. I like to do my own thing. I feel I was a one-man gang. I'm a Leo the lion, so Leos are similarly like that sometimes.
So you were robbing from people and causing all kinds of trouble with your buddies and basically a bad boy, huh?
Yes, sir.
So how old were you the first time?
I was 16.
16 when
15,
you went
15.
to juvenile.
Juvenile, 15 years old. Didn't have my father was married to another woman, and he had kids, so he didn't have time for me. I felt left out, and I had 2 older sisters and 1 younger brother. And one of my second youngest sister, her boyfriend at that time, Alvino Haley, he turned me out to, hey, we can rob dope houses. These are illegitimate businesses, so we don't have to worry about the police. So in my mind, that gave me the green light. I ain't got to worry about the police. I got to worry about them.
Yeah.
That's all.
And they might come and kill you.
Yeah, so that's easier. Wasn't thinking.
So what was it like the first time you did that?
It was like a fraternity, because you meet other guys from I was in Ohio, so I met guys from Cincinnati, and then when I went back the second time, most of the guys I met the first time, they was there the second time. So, hey, we all in school, so we continually graduating, Mm-hmm. So I graduated from school in 76 from Indian River School for Boys. Thank God they had a boxing program, so that kind of saved me to a certain extent. My trainer was I had a very good trainer. He was rated in the top 20 in the 40s as a lightweight. George Milner from Canton, Ohio. He was a former councilman in Canton, Ohio. He also trained Ronnie Harris, the Olympic gold medalist from 1968 as well. And I started going from there.
Wow.
Got out, got with Clint Martin Jr., who they later called the Godfather of boxing in Cleveland, Ohio. And went to the Nationals my first year. I went to the semifinals. I got a bronze medal. The second time I went to the state fair finals. I lost to Manuel Stewart's boy, Nathaniel Akbar, in the finals. And the third time I was ready to go, I listened to my sparring partner, Jeff Showtime Stoudemire, 2-3-time national champion, and I held my nuts. Holding the nuts meaning no sex for 5 or 6, 7 weeks to get ready for those long tournaments, because you're fighting every day, 5 days a week. So I knew. So Cleveland Golden Gloves, 1978, I had 2 first-round knockouts. So I was going to fight in the district finals, and that's when I was taking a piss, and a guy tapped me on the shoulder. I looked around, and there was a policeman. And he said, "Are you Wilson Smith?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, you won't be fighting tonight. You're going to the county jail for murder, robbery, rape, burglary." And I didn't see daylight until 14 years, 1 month, and 11 days later.
My goodness, so you went to the big house.
Yes, sir. University of Hard Knocks in Ohio.
So what was it like in there?
It was, I made it, well, I didn't make it at first. I tried to be positive. I was very extremely frustrated because it was 4 of us that robbed the dope house. 3 of the guys wrote statements on it. And my best buddy that was a trigger man on accidental killing, I couldn't believe this guy had told on me, you know, but I had to face it. So I'm at the Ohio Penitentiary in Columbus, Ohio. I'm looking up at the sun. I think it was June, July of 78. And I asked one of the guys that looked like, you know, he was a pretty well-rounded guy, probably 10, 15 years older than me. I said, "Man, how am I going to do all this time?" Because I had 19 years of life, prison sentence. I was facing the electric chair, but the United States Supreme Court ruled unconstitutional. So I copped out to everything. So they stood a book with me at everything. And he said, "Drink plenty of water and walk slow." So I'm like, what the type of answer? I'm looking for something slick that I could whip up out of here. Wasn't no such thing. So meanwhile, I'm in Ohio Penitentiary. One night, some of the windows had a lot of cracks in them, so it was real cold. It get cold in Ohio. My cellie and I got the blanket up, and the officers come by and cut the blanket down. So my cellie getting arguing with the officers. So the officers opened the door, about 3 of them, they come in and started jumping on him. So I wasn't going to allow them to just whoop him, and I wasn't going to do nothing, so I jumped into the fight. And they gave me a sentence of 7 days in shackles, 4-way restraints. So I done 7 days in 4-way restraints. A buddy of mine, Kevin Morrow from Chicago, he was locked up with us. Shout out to Kevin Morrow, if he's still around. He told me what type of violation it was, a constitutional violation, cruel and unusual punishment. We stayed in contact. He went to Marion, I went to Lucasville, maximum security. He eventually had filed a couple lawsuits at Marion, so he got sent to Lucasville. In the first week he was there, we put together the lawsuit for $195,000. 4 years later, we settled the lawsuit out of court for transfer from maximum security to medium security, Marion Correctional Institution, where Don King was at, and I got $5,000 as well.
Wow. Now, you said Don King was there.
Yeah, Don was at Marion. I wanted to go there. Actually, they wanted to send me to the minimum security at Chillicothe. But I wanted to go where Don was at because I remember a couple years back, there was a kid by the name of Arthur Tap Harris out of Akron, Ohio. He was a 24, 25 and 0. He killed a guy that jumped on his mother. He was at Marion with Don. So Don brought the tournament back in, the U.S. tournament back in. It was televised on ABC, you know, with Larry Holmes, Wilfredo Benitez, and all these guys. So I'm saying, well, maybe the door is still open there, and I can get Don and them to take a look at me, because I thought I was very good. I was champ, 4.5 years of maximum security. And then later down the line, I won 2 inmate Olympic gold medals and 1 silver.
So you won 2 Olympic. Say that again.
Inmate Olympic gold medals.
Oh, okay, inmate. Okay,
Inmate
Olympic,
gold
the
medals.
inmate Olympics. Okay.
Gold medal. Yeah, we there was a director that came in from the federal system to the state system, Director Sider, and he had the inmate Olympics where he had 3-on-3 basketball, powerlifting, boxing, I think track and field.
Wow.
So I went to 3 of them. I won a gold in 2, and the third time I got cut over the eye in the first round. And they gave, I was in the guys' hometown, London Correctional Institution, where I was from Lima. So I couldn't get the decision because I wasn't aggressive enough. I was moving around doing what I had to do, but I didn't think, and most of the people didn't think that he beat me, but by him being from there, they gave him a fight. I prayed real hard on everything. 2 years later, I was at one institution. I got sent back to another institution where he was at. We fought again, and I knocked him out in the first round, and I knocked him out with 5 hooks. 4 off of this hand, and I finished him with the right hook.
My goodness.
So I went 15-1 as an amateur in the boxing circuit, in the Ohio prison circuit. And I was also corresponding with James Superman Scott in Rahway State Prison after he beat Eddie Mustafa Muhammad in 1980 on CBS, because they was getting paid. So I'm saying, hey, I feel I'm good enough to get paid, so let me try to get an out-of-state transfer. But I couldn't get no assistance from the people in Ohio.
Wow. So you boxed the whole time while you're in prison?
Yes.
That kept you sane, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Gave you something to do?
I done that, and I became president of the inmate JC, Freedom Valley JC,
really?
in 1994, 95. Then when I went to Lima, I became president there in 1986, 87. I became a statesman, 005 Ohio JC statesman, and I also became a 2061 United States JC ambassador.
Wow. Very
So
good.
I stayed positive, doing a lot of positive things through the JCs.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how about when you got out? Did you still continue?
Yes, I did,
Yeah.
and great things happened. Guess what?
Yeah.
I got out. Rick Singer, former Cleveland, Ohio JC president, he came and picked me up at the jobs that I had at Cleveland Works. I worked with a group in the area. Cleveland Works was a non-profit job agency helping people get off welfare, finding full-time jobs with health benefits. The program I had the opportunity to work was called Beat the Streets. I worked with kids from the age of 16 to 25 years old, helping them find jobs with medical benefits as well.
Wow. Very good. So that experience, it had to really be something that you probably dream about it, huh? Probably have nightmares
All the
about
time,
it.
yeah, all the time. I just, read a lot of books, talked to a lot of wise guys that was in there, all nationalities, and I just grew. I said, hey, I gotta turn. I really didn't fucked up, So I looked at everything and said, hey, it's every man for himself in here. So I got to dig down deep within me and bring out the best. So I plan my work and start working my plan step by step, stay positive. I said, I ain't never getting into no fight again. I definitely ain't getting into no fight with no inmate because we ain't got nothing to fight about. And I'm definitely not fighting no officers no more. They locked me down for 7 days in shackles. So I definitely didn't want no more parts of that. And I was trying to get out. I felt I could have won a world championship if I could have got out in time.
So you got out, and you were how old when you got out?
I got out at 33 and a half.
Wow.
I turned pro at 34.
My
I
goodness.
fought for the state championship at 36, and I got TKO'd in the 12th round only because I had sex 6 days before the fight. Other than that, I wouldn't have had no problem with the guy. As a matter of fact, the guy that beat me, he became a correctional guard. And he told the guys, he said, if Honey Man, well, they called me Honey Man in prison. He said, if Honey Boy or Honey Man wouldn't have tried to knock me out, he could have easily outboxed me. But my mentality at that time was Mike Tyson's mentality: knockout, kill or be killed.
Wow. Now, speaking of Mike Tyson, you know Mike Tyson pretty well.
Yeah, what happened is a buddy of mine, Steve Crocodile Fitz, he came up in Cleveland from Detroit. He was over the Motor City car. He was a hot thing from Kronk's Gym, 21 years old. He was getting ready for Felix Trinidad. So by me being tall, and I was a junior middleweight, and Trinidad's around 5'10", 5'11", and I'm 6'1". So let's see if you bring you out to the camp, and let's see if you can work with Oba. And if you work with Oba, you got a job, and the doors can open up for you out there. I said, okay, cool. So I came out there, and they liked me. We worked real good, and after working with Oba, Michael Second to None came in town, two-time the world champion. We worked real good. He brought me to first one that brought me out to Las Vegas. Actually, Harold Westland Jr. at Diane King Training Camp told me, he said, Honey Boy, we're not taking no sparring partners to Las Vegas this time. So I went over and told Michael Second to None in the gym area, in the cabin. So he said, come on. Me, him, and his bodyguard walked over to the office, and the Dottie, the former Cleveland police officer, female, Mike Nunn told her, he said, Honey Boy going if I got to pay for it. So he brought me out here to Las Vegas for the first time in 96, 93, 94. Because Mike came home in 95, and by me being still chief sparring partner for Oba the Motor City car, Oba Car was managed by Roy Holloway. Roy Holloway was the one that co-managed Mike Tyson, him and John Horn. So when Mike came home the next week, they said, hey, the camp is moving to Las Vegas. So Steve Crocodile Fitz, my man, he told Mike, he said, let's bring Honey Boy with him. So Mike said, okay, let's go. I came out here in 1995.
And you stayed ever since?
I've been out back and forth. In 1997, Dana White asked me to start working with him because he had a boxing class where he had about 20 or 30 people in different classes and whatnot. So I started working with Dana for six months. I had the pleasure to train Teresa Fertitti and Tom Hansen and his two lovely boys at 5 o'clock in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as United Champions. And I had to go back home. My mother got sick with cancer. So I had to go back home and take care of her. And I come back out here in 2000. Floyd Sr. asked me to work with him. Floyd Joy Mayweather Sr. We had Stevie 2-Pound Forbes, and I can't remember the Caucasian middleweight we had, but she was supposed to get ready to fight Layla Ali, but the fight never happened. She's coming to the ring with a monkey. I can't call her name right now. And her manager had a boxing gym out of his house, and I forgot exactly where it was at. But there was only boxing camp at that house in the garage at that time. And I worked with them. Stevie 2-Pound Forbes won the IBF Junior Lightweight Championship. I was on ESPN with him, working with him in the 10-rounder that we won because Floyd Joy had told his parole officer in time that he needed a pass to go out of the state. And once you're on parole, you have to get permission from the parole officer.
Yeah.
So he didn't know. He didn't realize that in time, so I had to go. So I was the head man. So I got a win with my man Stevie 2-Pound Forbes on ESPN.
Wow. You've had some exciting times, haven't you?
Yeah.
Ups and downs, about as low as you can go and about as high as you can go.
Then my man Mike Akery, my promoter, he called me one day. I just got my passport. He said, Wilson, he said, do you have a passport? I said, yes. He said, would you like to go to Germany and spar with this kid that's getting ready to fight for the IBF super middleweight championship? I said, sure. He said, for 2,500 US currency? I said, sure. So I went. And I sparred with this kid by the name of Stephen Otte, O-T-T-K-E, for 2,500 US currency. And I only sparred with him for 2 days. I sparred with 3 other Germans. The only reason why I didn't only spar with him for 2 days because the German coach saying that he couldn't hit me. I was hitting him more times he was hitting me and didn't want to take his confidence. Anyway, the kid had a great career. He won the belt in Düsseldorf, Germany. Defended the belt 10 times in Düsseldorf without a defeat and retired at 34-0 with the WBA Super Middleweight Championship, Stephen Taylor.
Wow.
I was 39 years old at that time.
And he was how old?
I was 26, 27.
Yeah, big difference. My goodness. So, tell us about the highest highs you've experienced in boxing.
Meeting Mike Tyson in '95 when he came home. When we took pictures, I brought pictures. We took pictures at Don King training camp at that time. Meeting Roy Jones Jr., meeting Floyd Money, Pretty Boys, Money Mayweather, him and his dad. Meeting Sugar Shane Mosley, meeting Roy Jones Jr., meeting my man Reuben Hurricane Carter at one of the events that Sterling McPherson had when he first brought his promotional thing over here in Las Vegas. Him and Frank Warren from London, England.
Yeah, I know Sterling. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I met them. And a salute Las Vegas and meet Dana White, my man Dana.
Yeah, he's about as big as they get now.
Yeah, that's my man.
MMA is just taking over.
Yes,
it's really something. Well, I see you have a stack of pictures here. Let's take a look at some of those. See what you have.
Well, the first one right here is trainer Robert McCracken from the UK. He's trainer three division belt holder heavyweight Anthony Joshua. Currently, he's going to fight Deontay Wilder. Then the next picture is me, Montel Griffin. We're at the camp at Big Bear, California. As you can see, everybody is there. I can't remember all their names right now.
Yeah, you got a bunch of them there.
Yeah. Diego Corrales, Rashad Bramble, the one who knocked out Bumbo Mancini. Diego Corrales was undefeated, and Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather, I believe, at that time was the underdog. That was the only time he knocked out. Both of them was undefeated, but Pretty Boy knocked him out. This is Randy Colvin from Kansas City. I fought him in St. Louis. He was a super middleweight North American belt holder. He stopped me in the 8th round. And then he got killed about 2-3 months later in the ring. I heard he lost too much weight. This is a picture here of me and my trainer, my late great trainer Willie D. Kirk from Toledo, Ohio, in USA Today. USA Today, I believe, it just came out in 1982. And it came into Marion Correctional Institution, and I just knocked out the middleweight champion. I just got there from Louisville, so they gave me some recognition.
Now, this looks like a little story on you being a prisoner.
It is.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
And this is the man with the most knockouts in the history of the game, the late, great Archie the Mongoose Moore. I was at
Archie Moore.
And I took a picture with him.
How many knockouts did he have?
Anywhere between 147 and 149.
My goodness, there's a lot of fights.
Knockouts. 15 rounds for champion.
Wow.
Not 12 rounds. This is Steve Crocodile Fitz over the Motor City Car, myself, Dave Jacobs, Sheree Leonard's trainer, and Stacy Roosevelt McKinley, Mike Tyson's trainer.
Wow.
We're out here. And here's a picture of Mike Tyson himself, Iron Mike.
There he is. He looks a little different now, though.
Yes, he has a tattoo and everything. As you can see, I'm wearing one of his shirts with the tattoo.
Yeah.
And that's the man that first beat Mike. Buster Douglas, Columbus, Ohio, my man.
Yeah. He's pretty tall.
Yes, 6'5", I believe.
Is he 6'5"?
6'5", about 240.
So when you were 6'1",
I'm 6'1".
and when you were fighting, what was your weight?
Junior middleweight, but I fought all the way at light heavyweight. My last fight on Fox against Julio Gonzalez was at light heavyweight, but I probably only weighed about 165 pounds. This is the late great Panama Lewis, the legend.
Yeah.
We was in Tempe, Arizona with the white buffalo. Here's a white buffalo.
Yep.
Matter of fact, at that time, Panama Luz was working for Sterling McPherson. This is my man Jimmy Bivens. When I came home, I asked him to train me. He worked with me for a couple months. And that's Iceman Montel Griffin when I was in camp with him at Big Bear. He beat the late great Roy Jones Jr. That's Muhammad Ali. I met Miriam and she got a picture signed for me by Muhammad, the greatest.
Now, did you get to know Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, I got a picture with he and I. What happened is Miriam graduated from UNLV, and the after party, I came to the after party, and there's a house on Spencer off of Flamingo, and it's an elevator with another house in the basement. And I met him downstairs in the basement of that house.
Wow.
Here, in the penitentiary in Pennsylvania, 18 years old, rated number 6 in the country. And this guy that I beat, there was a prisoner in Pennsylvania. His name, free name, was Muhammad Ali. So there's two Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
there's
really?
the original Muhammad Ali, and there's the second Muhammad
Second
Ali
one?
that I had the opportunity and pleasure to meet and fight and beat.
Yeah.
And here's an autograph.
But only one of them was the greatest.
Yes. And here's a picture of Mike, I think, knocked out. I can't remember who exactly knocked out, but he signed it for me.
Yeah.
And here's a picture of the late great trainer Emmanuel Stewart from the Clark Gym. I lost to two of his fighters as an amateur. There was only 2 losses I had.
Now, you were a lot bigger there.
I
Right.
just appeared that way because I had a suit on.
Okay.
Yeah.
She didn't weigh anymore.
Maybe 3 or 4 pounds,
Yeah.
tops. That's Ann Pryor, the late great Ann Pryor. Hawk Time, Cincinnati, Ohio.
So you had a lot more reach and
Yes.
on almost all the fighters,
Yeah,
so you got a
height,
ledge, right?
Because I had the height, yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the condition or the desire because, I was 30, in my late 30s. These guys in their early 20s. I was just going through the motions. I loved the game, and I wanted to get rid of the if I would have, could have, should have. If I wouldn't have done it, I would have been very sad.
Yeah.
Just done something else, just work with Cleveland Works to Beat the Streets program with my man David B. Roth in Cleveland.
Wow. Now who we have here?
This is Ivan McCoy, Quick Hands McCoy, Columbus, Ohio. Golden Glove champion for I think 4 or 5 years. I stopped him. I beat him one time and he said, this guy can't beat me, so I went back and fought. I beat him in Cleveland. I went back 2 weeks later and I stopped him in Columbus, Ohio. And you can see
In
his
2
eyes
weeks?
for 2 weeks. Yeah, because he wanted the rematch. So 2 weeks.
That's a pretty short time, though.
But that's just amateur. We fought 3
Yeah.
rounds of amateur.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you fought like that.
Did you? Yeah.
That's the late great Roy Jones Jr. there. He was at a Tyson weigh-in.
Wow.
And that's the great trainer,
Dundee.
late great Angelo Dundee.
Yep. He was the most famous of all, I guess,
And
right?
here's Miriam Ali, where I got a master's degree. That's when I met Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
And this is the first time I met Miriam at the MGM Grand. We took a picture outside. And that's me in a 6-round fight with a kid from Columbus, Ohio. I don't remember his name.
He's going down.
Long
Huh?
time. Yeah, I stopped him. I think it was the 3rd or 4th round. He was a left-hander, strong, with no defense.
Huh.
And this is the first day Mike came home from prison in '95. That's Don King training camp.
That's the first day he got
Mike came
home.
home, yes. As you can see, he's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
1995. Orwell, Ohio.
Wow.
This is the greatest, Muhammad, 1999, when I met him at Miriam's congratulations master's degree party.
You could tell he's his Parkinson's was.
Yes,
You
can
could
see
tell.
it. Yeah,
You can see it there.
Absolutely. This is late great Freddie Pacheco.
Yeah.
At an event, took a picture with him.
Huh.
And I was in Cincinnati, I had a first round knockout on Nate Tubbs' show that he promoted, and he had Mike Tyson there, and I shook hands with Mike afterwards.
Yeah.
And this is Mike again, coming out the Golden Glory gym. We took a picture together here in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Wow, you have some good memories there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the best is yet to come.
Yes, absolutely. So you're how old now?
I'm 60. I turned 60 July 29th. Just had a
Wow.
birthday a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations. That's a
Thank
big
you very
milestone.
much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Because when I was coming up, I didn't think I was going to live to see 21.
I'll
And
bet,
most,
yeah.
85% of the guys that I grew up with, they didn't live to see 21.
Got shot.
Yeah,
All
definitely
kinds.
got killed, shot, killed in the streets.
So you grew up in the ghetto and
Pretty much, the inner
Yeah.
city ghetto, 124th and St. Clair.
yeah.
Went to Patchen Henry Junior High School in Glenville, Senior High School.
Well, you obviously made the best out of a really bad situation, but
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Only in America.
What would you, if you could pick one thing to do different, what would you change in your life?
I just wish I would have had somebody, a male, positive male role model that could have told me, hey, stick with the boxing. This is the perfect fit for you. The first time you go to the Nationals, you get a bronze. Second time you go, you get a silver. Third time, you don't get opportunity to go, you go to the penitentiary. So if you just thought, if I'd have stuck around, but my heart really would have been crushed, like Tommy Hearn, Mike McCollum, and all the rest of them. Jeff's Showtime Stellarmon, my spawn partner, because our goal was to win a gold medal in the 1980 Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
They boycotted the Olympics, so they didn't even go. So I'd have been
Wow.
crushed. So I don't know what I would have done after then.
Yeah.
Might would have done something even stupider than that.
Now you mentioned that your father had moved away from your family and started another family.
Yes.
Yeah, how old were you when that happened?
3 or 4 years old.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even remember nothing about him other than he was tall and darker than me. But he was
You never
tall.
saw him after that?
After then, I hung out with my older brother. He took me to his high school basketball game. I had an older brother, probably about 16 years older than me.
Hmm.
Yeah, 15, 16 years older than me.
Well, and you saw your dad there, or
No.
no? You never saw your dad.
Never seen him no more. He never came around. If he didn't have time, he was working, and he had at least 5 kids, at least. I had 5.
But he lived in the same town,
Same area.
same
you know,
area.
Yeah, a couple. I stayed on St. Clair at first, 124th and St. Clair first. Then we moved to 88th and Quincy, and my father and them stayed on Woodland, a couple streets over in the projects.
Did you ever think about just going knocking on his door?
I didn't have time.
Yeah.
You know, and I once I felt somebody turn their back on me, I said, Alpha, I'm gonna keep moving. You know.
Yeah. You ever think about what it would have been like if you'd been there?
Yeah.
Life would have been different, I guess.
Oh, for sure, for sure. You know, because it showed I had the ability, I had the talent to do great things. You know, even after all the faults that I did have. You know, going to the University of Hard Knocks for all them years. The couple times I went back and forth. And, hey, I finally woke up and hey, started realizing I got to believe in the Most High,
Mhm.
Almighty God, and get some. Read the necessary information. As long as I stayed with the positive affirmations, good things came.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, did you do some schooling when you were in prison?
The schooling that I actually done, you know, cause been about me studying and reading. I more or less wanted to be hands-on. So the hands-on, once I left maximum security, I got to Marion, I seen people coming in, was coming from the cafeteria. I said, what's going on there? They said, oh, that's an inmate organization called the JCs. I said, what? I said, well, that's the door. I see light. I said, I'm getting involved with that. So once I got involved, I found out that the JCs was a young people's leadership training organization, and they was doing big things, and they worked out of the triangle: membership development, leadership development, individual development, management development. I got involved, and next thing I became a sports director, and about 6 months down the road, the elections coming around, and one of the elders said, "Hey, you're going to be our next president." I said, "I don't even know how to speak in front of you." He said, "We're going to teach you. We're going to teach you parliamentary procedure. We're going to teach you." And they did. And 6 months later, I became president. 84, 85. My motto at that time was "Great things are happening" in 1984, 1985.
Wow.
Freedom Valley JCs.
So the JCs really changed your life, didn't they?
JCs changed. They done it. That was my real school. JCs. People, because twice a month, the United States JCs people from all over Ohio, they would come in. And everything was a reward system. You got plats. Every time you brought members, you had so many classes: individual development, management development, personal dynamics, leadership dynamics, management development, community development. You know, you're doing things in the community. We raise funds for muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, Making Kids Christmas, United Negro College Fund, you name it, we done it. I put coffee pots in all the dormitories at Marion Correctional Institution, put clocks on the wall in all the dormitories there as well. You know, and every time we had a weightlifting competition come in from Black's Health World, from Cleveland, Ohio, shout out to John Black, we paid for their transportation as well. Because we had a camera project. The camera project and all the institutions, I still believe, is run by the JC. So we had a treasury, and we had donuts and coffee at our meetings. So everything you done, you was rewarded by a plaque, by a cap, with caps, or pens.
Yeah, nothing like a little recognition, right?
Oh man.
So what's next for Honey Boy?
Just staying positive, working with people that like to learn the sweet science of boxing. Hit, don't get hit. In about 2 weeks, I'll be working with Travis over at the Combine with some boxing classes for the people that wants to learn boxing. And my health is my wealth.
Yeah, that's for sure. Got to stay healthy. So what do you do to stay healthy? What kind of diet do you have?
Pretty much now, about 4 to 5 months, I've been on a vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
Alkaline. You know, everything alkaline. I got introduced, my lady friend introduced me to the NutriBullet maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Because you can drink more than you can eat.
Right.
So I said, hey, that makes sense. You know, and if I can alkaline my body and electrify it, I have more energy, you know, because I'm not young as I used to be. You know, although I might look 10 years, 15, 20 years younger than I am, it's not, I feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you ever think you'll ever, do you step in the ring sometimes? You do some
Only
training?
moving around, showing some of my clients, you know, how to move, how to hit the rope. You know, letting them know, you know, from the center of the ring, how many steps it is to the turnbuckle, how many steps it is to the ropes, and pivot, jab, you know, move around like that. I do.
So no sparring for you?
No.
Those days are
no.
over.
You don't play boxing when you get older, because you know the bones can. When you talk, I mean, there's great exceptions to the rule, like Bernard Hopkins was a great exception. I think his last fight was in 50 or 51, whatever the case may be, but he got knocked out the ring, so I guess he found out that
didn't quite work.
Went a little too far.
Yeah.
But normally in the 40s, most of your great fighters, Sugar Ray Robinson and Archie fought to 454. He fought Muhammad Ali at 54. You know, but normally late 30s, early 40s, cut it.
Yeah, and you started so late, you didn't have much of a chance.
Exactly. I started at 34 and I fought till I was 41. But after Julio Gonzalez bust my nose in 1999 on Fox, I never got my nose busted. And I sparred with 5 world champions: Michael second to none, Frank Tate, Olympic gold medalist, middleweight champ. He was fighting Virgil Hill for a light heavyweight championship. I helped him get ready for that. Stevie Collins out of Ireland, I knocked him down with a left hook to the body, shovel hook, at top rank. The great Rafael Garcia can vouch for me on that. And my other man, I can't call his name, the cut man over there, I can't call his name right now. Sorry about that. No, Miguel Diaz. He can vouch for me and Rafael's son. That I did knock Stevie Collins down, and I was helping Stevie get ready to fight Nazir Ben. He went over and beat Nazir Ben at the UK. Then I worked with Montel Griffin both times when he fought Roy Jones Jr. And then what's the over the Motor City Car, Murky Sosa, and the other super middleweight I worked out with over at top rank, the Kenny Adams had Fabulous Frankie Lau and Lightning Lonnie Smith. But I didn't get paid for it with them. Everybody else I got paid for. So I was a world-class sparring partner, so to speak.
So speaking of pay, what's the most you ever made for a fight?
Most I made was Julio Gonzalez, my last fight. No, it wasn't. I got 4,000. What happened, I fought Babyface. Babyface, what's your real name? I can't remember. I fought him the first time in Cleveland. I beat him on the 6th round. 6th round, I think I probably was the one of the best. I could, if there was a 6th round belt, I would have won that.
Huh.
But anything after 6 rounds, I couldn't tell you. A week or 2 or longer, I can't hold my nuts. I've been locked up for 14 years, 1 month and 11 days. I had to have some sex. I had to ski. And when you do that, you take energy away from yourself. And that's not very good. So, what was the question again?
Well, let me ask you another question. You know,
Okay.
there may be some young guys that are watching us right now, and you know, what advice do you have? Because there's a lot of guys out there that they've lost hope. You know,
you gotta stay positive. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta stay positive. Read the Bible. Try to get attach yourself to some positive affirmations. You know, I mean, I used to correspond with James Superman Scott at Rahway State Prison when he beat Eddie Mustafa Muhammad on CBS. His thing was, a winner never quits, a quitter never wins. So I definitely attached that to my repertoire.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to write Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd, man, and I told him they can lock the body up, but never the mind. So once I found out from being incarcerated how strong the mind was, it's unlimited. And the mind's a terrible thing to waste. So I would tell the kids, don't waste your mind. Stay positive. Keep going. If you keep going, you will succeed.
Now, how about Honey Boy? Did you ever get married? Do you have children?
I got one son.
Yeah.
I got one son, Wilson Smith Jr.
Yeah.
In Cleveland. I got to go back and get him. He's Irish, German, and African American. And I had probably 8 or 9 one miscarriage. One girl died with a baby of mine in the Emma Jackson. They called her Janie. Shout out to her, and shout out to the other 7 or 8 that I had that had the abortions.
Wow. So one son,
One son.
Wilson Jr.
Yes.
And did he do a little boxing?
Now we're probably gonna. I want him to become an attorney.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna have a couple fights, probably win a couple national championships.
Oh, really?
Maybe go to the Olympic, but I don't want him to turn pro.
Now, how old is he?
He's 7.
Oh, he's 7.
7 years old.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you were pretty old when you had him.
June, I was 51, I think I was.
Yeah.
Or 52. 52.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I was 56 when I had my youngest, so
Okay.
no
don't
problems
feel
there.
bad.
You're not
Yeah.
gonna get me to argue with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, it's just a delight to have you here and
It's my pleasure.
to share with you some of those memories that you've
Appreciate
had. What a
it.
life, huh?
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Any last words of wisdom? We're almost out of time, but any last words of
like
wisdom?
my man, the great Panama Lewis, the legend, say, one love.
One love. Yeah. All right. Great to see you, Honey Boy.
My pleasure.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week, same time, same station. Bye-bye, everybody.